Welcome, everybody, to Innate Interviews. I'm your host, Dr. Haig John, and I'm excited to have Kialine Denis on our podcast today. She's a Sherman student, eighth quarter, and she has been instrumental at getting innate newborn adjusting and subluxation analysis. So, welcome, Kialine.
Hi.
So I'm excited to have you on our podcast. And I want to learn little bit about you. You told me you're from Long Island. Where are you from on Long Island?
I'm from Valley Stream, New York. I'm born and raised there. Well, I was born in Franklin Square and I grew
Hmm.
up in Valley Stream. I lived in Valley Stream for my whole life until I moved down to North Carolina when I was 25.
Well, that's what brought you into chiropractic then. You're at Sherman College of Chiropractic right now, eighth quarter, and which is fantastic. You're past the halfway mark. You're almost there. And what got you to chiropractic?
So, chiropractic, people say it found me, and it quite literally did find me.
Hmm.
I knew I wanted to be a doctor my whole life. I just didn't know what kind of doctor I wanted to be
Right.
necessarily. I went into psychiatry first, and we know that's like the opposite of what we do in chiropractic. And I love the mind. I'm the mind is my first love.
Hmm.
So when I came across a chiropractic office to work at when I was moving down from New York, I was like, oh, this is a holistic space. That's perfect. That's exactly where I want to be. I didn't know what chiropractic really was. I just knew it was a holistic form of healthcare.
Hmm.
And while I was at that office, I actually cried at my interview because I just felt super overwhelmed by the hope that was there. And I knew that was something I needed for myself, actually. So when I was there, I started care. I was asking questions. And the more questions I asked, the less answers that I got that were satisfactory. And so somebody that was working at that office that now also goes to Sherman College came back to visit. And she told me to come to Sherman for a showcase. So I was like, okay, I'll go to a showcase. And Dr. Cordero also came to visit the office one time. And he also told me to go to Sherman for a showcase. So after they both told me to come here for a showcase, I came. I fell in love immediately. I applied. I started school 3 months later.
Wow. When it becomes you, you said it, chiropractic, you become that. I had the same similar experience. My a good friend, chiropractors had literally had saved my life. I've been going to chiropractors, but he said to me, "Hey, you would make a great chiropractor." Steve Pedix was his name. I give him all the glory because after that, I couldn't think of anything else. It was absolutely right for me. And in my day, we had a card catalog in the library. We didn't have, as much internet back then, and I couldn't find anything about chiropractic. And it was, I'm taking this leap of faith that this is the right thing because, and of course, it absolutely was. So, and another little bit of tidbit, my father was a psychiatrist at Ward's Island in Manhattan
What?
and started off in internal medicine and then became a psychiatrist. And I thought, you know what? Great profession, not necessarily, it wasn't my calling. And chiropractic, where we can help people and we see people's lives change and we get to see it every day. And my clinic experience, it really came in truckloads.
Absolutely. I think it was at Lyceum this year, Dr. Donnie Epstein. He was the
Hmm.
keynote speaker. And the
Hmm.
thing that he said that really, it just grounded in me like a seed, that chiropractic is a social science. And I was just everything that I'd always wanted to come together. He said it in that one statement, chiropractic is a social science. And I was like, wow, yes, yes, it is. Yes, 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 it is. And so I feel very grounded here, knowing that I get to work with people in grounding their thoughts and helping them create new cycles of thought,
Hmm.
um, helping them in their neuroplasticity, just allowing change in how they think about themselves, how they think about life, how they experience life, and using chiropractic to do that because that's exactly what I did for myself. As soon as I started care, I started using it as a way to increase my capacity. And no one had said that to me at the time when I was working at that office. But then when I came here and I started learning more, I was like, wow, you were there. I was there. And I just didn't realize that I was really, really there.
That's absolutely having an epiphany like that. And really it seems like it grounded you, as even just watching your face as you're talking about that, just grounding in your own principles, coming to fruition and knowing you're in the right place.
Yeah, it
That's
feels really
wonderful.
good.
And you touched on something really important, that neuroplasticity and creating that hardwiring for the consciousness and spirit of life. And that's why I've committed so much to newborns and adjusting children. I'm 21 years in practice, and we've taken care of, from newborns and, prenatal with pregnant mommies to 100, 102, 100. Actually, my oldest patient is 103 years old. And
Wow.
where we see, and that patient at 103, she brought me in a business card of one of my mentors, Dr. Pasquale Sarasoli,
Yeah.
and said, "This man, if you're even half as good as this man, I'll stay here in your office." And I almost fell down. I was like, this is literally how I project my practice to the world was from, Pasquale Sarasoli. And I served her until she passed I think she was 104 when she actually passed. And so I feel honored in that way. So, the consciousness of what you just talked about, how do you plan on bringing that into service? You're only a few semesters, quarters away from graduating. Tell me what your vision for your practice is.
So I'm actually a quarter away from clinic, and I'm
Yes.
just trying to formulate how do I want to give this to my participants, even
Mm-hmm.
in clinic.
Mm-hmm.
I use the word participant because I'm very much a word person.
Yeah.
And when I think patients, I think that you have to wait. And I don't think anybody should have to wait. I think everybody should be a part of their own health journey.
Mm-hmm.
So I use the word participant because you are quite literally participating in this experience. You have to agree to participating in this experience for you to get what you don't even realize you're looking for. So that's
That's
the first
beautiful.
step,
Mm-hmm.
getting my participants on the same page as me in terms of what does health mean to you? What does the expression of health in your body look like to you? How do you experience your body at all? Do you trust your body?
Yeah.
And like that's the foundation of my care.
That's absolutely beautiful. And that's one thing that is their attempt to, and I use the word they, but media, programming, everything is to take the confidence out of living and your own body, your own innate, right? That's absolutely lovely. I say people, are people. These are people. They're human beings. They're people. Call them people, right?
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
often in chiropractic, we refer to patients and we use that in communicating with each other very often. And when I talk about it sometimes, but then I get back to and I slip up to and say patients still. But I call them people, and I would rather be known as a person myself. That you are not a number, you're not just a dysfunction in your life. You're actually a living, breathing human being and respected as so.
You are whole, and I see all of you. I don't
Hmm.
see you for the parts of you that are hurting.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I don't care. I do care, but those are not the parts that matter the most. It's not your parts, it's you.
Yeah. That's lovely. I love that. So when now being a student leader, which is very exciting, and in helping us bringing again to Sherman College, innate newborn and adjusting and subluxation analysis. Did you get out any information out of the last time that we came? What would you describe the workshop like?
I really loved the last workshop. It was not as hands on,
Right.
and I loved the philosophy conversation that was had throughout the entire time. As a student that came to chiropractic aware of philosophy, but not knowing that there was a chiropractic philosophy, I really appreciate having conversations around it frequently. And I liked that we had a lot of time talking about it in that seminar. And I think that talking about it helps you focus on what you're doing as a doctor of
Yes.
chiropractic, as a chiropractor. So I really took a lot away from that seminar in terms of what we talked about. The actual adjusting, I still think all the time, like, oh, sustained contact would probably work really well. Or like if I'm thinking, oh, I don't know if I would want to do that osseous sleep, and if I would want to see how that goes, I could do a sustained contact and just connect. I think it's a great way. The biggest takeaway for me going through this program and taking technique classes and not having as much analysis alongside those technique classes
Mhm.
is that although you don't necessarily have an analysis all the time when you're going to adjust, low force application can give you a lot of information.
Absolutely. And this one is next one's coming up is going to be January 31st, 2026. And it is a lot more hands on. What we did was really our initial level one and really talking about the why. And we go through the why so we can educate parents also when we're in practice. And education really is the key to it all because, especially young parents. We had a mom come in the other day. She's young, what she could barely didn't even know how to hold the baby yet, and she heard from somebody in Tennessee to go see Dr. Haig, and
Yeah.
she had a nanny with her, and the nanny knew how to take care of the baby, and she's just so awkward holding that child, but also so fearful of making a mistake, right? Making a mistake. Am I doing the right things? So, and just reassuring her, giving her a little bit of education, showing what we're doing. This isn't forceful. A lot of people have tremendous misconception of what adjusting a newborn or a child or even the elderly, because sometimes they're very, very delicate, and so we can apply these principles to every age group. And we're going to do a lot more hands-on, and we're going to do a lot more of adjusting for adults and for children, toddlers on. One of our missions is really, walking into, if we're in a situation, a child's maybe, not thriving in the first hour of their life is critical of being able to have the confidence to walk into that room and properly care for that child and very likely save their life. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you for that feedback.
Yeah, it was a great seminar. I After that seminar, I was telling everybody, "Oh my gosh, you should have been there. It was so good." I really hope you can bring another one back, and I'm really excited that to be a part of bringing the next one here and to attend. I'm so excited to just learn so much more.
Well, that is awesome. Thank you very much. And is there anything you would like to share with maybe early quarter students or someone thinking about coming to chiropractic? Because our podcast, we are literally worldwide, and there is a huge percentage that are not chiropractors. But I think we're going to create a lot of chiropractors from our podcast, is what I expect.
Awesome.
So, is there anything you'd like to share for the young budding interest of chiropractic?
I think that what I would like to share is chiropractic is, as a doctor of chiropractor, we are connectors of the community. As doctors of chiropractic, we are connectors to nature. We forget that we are animals ourselves, sometimes as humans, and that has led us down the path of rage on earth in ourselves
Yep.
and very apparent outside what we're doing to the earth.
Yes.
And I think that when we choose chiropractic, it's not just about making people feel better and bringing potential into their life. It's about opening their entire world to everything that they are and helping them remember that they are one with nature
Yeah. Yep.
and just loving each other, loving the planet. That's how we save each other. That's how we save the babies. That's how we save ourselves.
There can be no bigger calling, I have to say. That is absolutely poignant, and we need more of that. There are not enough chiropractors in the world. So I would love to see more chiropractors, and I say that with emphasizing that tour because
Can you
the
explain?
someone,
Yeah.
yep, in creating the principles, understanding them, and applying them. Absolutely. Well,
What's the
Keely,
difference between tick and tour?
that's right. That's right. Well, Kialine, thank you so much for, sharing your time and your
Mm.
passion with us. I can't wait to see you again January 31st. And we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to put together a philosophy night probably on the 30th somewhere, maybe around the bonfire area over there. I think that's
Yep.
a really cool spot. Who knows? Last time I did that a couple of years ago, we got rained out, but we will
Fingers
see.
crossed.
Fingers crossed, or we could do it somewhere with a cover on it. We'll see how it all works out.
We'll make it work.
We'll make it work. Well, have a gorgeous day. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on Innate Interviews. And Kialine, we are excited and have a gorgeous day. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you for having me. So great to be here.
Bye, everyone.